Namaskar. Welcome to P Guru's channel. I'm your host Sree Iyer, and with me is Shekhar Iyer ji as we look forward to what is going to be in Modi 3.0 cabinet and why he feels that his partners will not desert him as has been their wont in the past. So let's welcome Shekhar Iyer ji. There's a lot to discuss today, so I'm going to jump straight to the topic. Shekhar ji, Namaskar, Ram Ram, how are you, sir?
Ram Ram, Namaskar, Shree ji, Namaskar to all our viewers. Well, we are going to ask those questions which is on everybody's mind today, which is what is going to be the governance model for Prime Minister Modi in his third era? That's one question everybody is asking. Who are going to be ministers? Who will not be left out? What will happen when these allies play a big role in the government, particularly Telugu Desam Party and Janata Dal United, and why everybody is worried about the longevity of this government, or one should really fear, or there's a lot more happening behind the scenes that should reassure everyone who thinks India needs a stable government. That's one question. And second thing, sir, what is because today, as we are discussing, one Janata Dal leader, particularly 𝗖𝙑 𝗤𝘃𝘅, has come out with a remark that is, setting a lot of speculation that Nitish Kumar was indeed approached by the India Alliance or INDI Alliance with an offer to make him Prime Minister. And this disclosure by Tyagi, of course, we did mention about this in our hangout in Hindi on Wednesday, that this is the possibilities of this kind of thing happening. Now he says, Tyagi says that Nitish Kumar was approached with an offer of the Prime Minister. But I also hear that Congress was reluctant to take any initiative in this regard for a simple fact that they didn't have the numbers. Even if they got these two people onto their side, they could not have formed a government. So they could not have done anything. And I mean, I will get more detail. I mean, we'll go into details into this. But what is one version that is doing the rounds is parties like Shiv Sena, Uddhav Thackeray Shiv Sena, Mamata Banerjee's Trinamool Congress, and even Arvind Kejriwal's Aam Aadmi Party, they are all upset that Congress did not do enough to stop Modi from returning again. No matter about the mandate, even if the India Alliance was ahead in numbers and they had crossed that halfway mark, somehow it should have been prevented, because they were probably looking at their relief from their situation. Like Arvind Kejriwal is back in jail. Mamata knows no matter what has happened in Bengal, which has shocked many people as to how this could have happened. But her ministers remain under scrutiny. Some of them are on bail, some of them are in jail. And so, I mean, for her, the relief is end of Modi. Modi should not be there as Prime Minister. Similar, even Abhishek Banerjee faces a lot of problems. Of course, I mentioned about Arvind Kejriwal. For Uddhav Thackeray, I think it's more of a kind of a thing. He feels his course will be settled only if Modi somehow is no longer the PM. That is his thing. But the numbers did not allow that kind of game. And that is the reason why. And the third question we are going to examine, sir, Congress is back to its old drama. They had a Congress working committee which passed a resolution urging upon Rahul Gandhi to become the leader of the opposition. I mean, every post that he takes is an appeal from the party and cadre, and that the whole thing is made out as if he'll be obliging the party if he takes that responsibility. And we were told at the deliberations of working committee that Rahul Gandhi said he will consider, and that is, it is under his active consideration, to use a bureaucratic expression. So there we are. But it's something going on there in the Congress, which, with this kind of result, which some people say is the worst result that the Congress has got in the last 3 general elections. But they think they have climbed the Mount Everest. Sir.
Sir, I am reminded of yes, Prime Minister. When something is under consideration, that means the said department has lost the file. When it is said to be under active consideration, that means they are searching for the file. So,
sir, I would like to modify that and say, when it is under consideration, it means, look, I'm looking at it from the, what is it for me? Rahul is again asking this question. And the second thing is, sir, he has to take a big call first. That is, whether he should give up Wayanad or Raebareli. He has won in both the places. And he is wondering what he should do. Because he is already, noises are being made that if he gives up Wayanad, the Mallus will be upset. They voted him, and despite a severe contest in Wayanad, and if he gives up Raebareli, that will look like politically, harakiri, because Congress has won in Uttar Pradesh. This is a good way to move forward. The cadre is enthused. They can build upon this success in Raebareli and as well as Amethi. I mean, they can move forward on that. And the other thing is, sir, I think our viewers will be very quite excited by what I'm going to say, which is that probably he is waiting to give up, he will give up Wayanad, and he expects a by-election, say, in a month or two. And he will ask his sister Priyanka to contest from Wayanad. And if she wins, he will make her the leader of the opposition in Lok Sabha. And he will remain free so that he can carry on his attacks both in parliament and outside. Of course, I do not know how people are going to visualize. Sonia Gandhi has just become the chairperson of the Congress Parliamentary Party, being a member of the Rajya Sabha, because the Parliamentary Party consists of members of Parliament from the Rajya Sabha as well as the Lok Sabha, from the upper house and the lower house of Parliament. So, and the daughter is leader of the opposition in the Lok Sabha, and Rahul Gandhi is, as usual, no longer a loose cannon, but he is now he is that kind of a buffer's gun to target PM whenever an opportunity presents. But that was a non-starter. What he did 2 days ago, when he came out saying there is a huge scam in the stock exchange because of exit polls. Exit polls pushed the push the market, and there was so much of excitement that the PM is going to get a handsome victory. So a lot of people bought, and next day, and when the actual results came, things crashed down. So somebody lost money, and somebody made money, somebody lost money. So there is a huge scam. There is a 38 lakh crore scam. I mean, this kind of thing he made, and he made out as if, the Congress researchers have gone into some deep study and deep dive. But then and finally it was found out people who bought the stocks were actually the foreign institutional buyers. They probably thought that they could make some money, so they bought the shares at a higher price. And when they realized that the results were not turning out to be the way indicated, then they started selling. So they sold at low prices. It is then Indian buyers bought those at lower prices. And when the actual results came, the things again went up. So Indian shareholders, Indian retail investors made some money. I mean, maybe I'm putting it too simplistically. Maybe some people lost money. We do not know. But to make out as if it's a big scam, and I think the first one was a damn script, because he thought that from day one, we'll get after this government. And he didn't wait for the Prime Minister to be sworn in. The Prime Minister is going to take the oath of office on June 9th, on Sunday. Then the usual rhetoric started. We should have a joint parliamentary committee probe, and it should be investigated. Sir, but I believe from some very, very good sources who tell me Rahul Gandhi has a good portfolio. You know, he has people who buy shares for him, sell shares for him, and they ensure that his investment gives him a good return. Good for him. And he is also one of the beneficiaries of this changes that happen between exit poll and the actual poll. I mean, he hasn't been put to a loss because his advisors in India have given him good advice. They bought where it was low, and so I mean, he's not one of those foreign institutional investors. So that's it. And this became a non-starter because those who know how the market operates, those who, I mean, there are a lot of retail investors who have a good knowledge of the market. Of course, there are many like me, I won't venture near a market because I don't know when it will fall and when it will rise and when it will throw me off the track. But a lot of people who are in it, and I mean, who earn regular income, they know what's happening. So, but Rahul weaved a big, huge conspiracy theory saying the whole exit poll was all stage managed and the media was part of it. So they boosted up things. So shares went up after the exit poll. And so people started buying. And then 2 days later, when the actual results came, whole thing crashed and they had to sell it. But that is a time when a lot of Indians bought. So this is the first thing hasn't gone well, I would say. Rather, he should be careful with his luck because at this rate, because whatever he says now, it's going to get serious because Congress has definitely got a fresh lease of life. I don't want to lighten that aspect because what has happened is a serious, serious setback for BJP. No doubt about it. And if anyone has delivered that kind of a slap, we have to call it a slap to the BJP, to its leadership, it's Rahul Gandhi. And he did it in a manner which we did not think was going to click in a big way. Maybe we made mistakes. Or we did look at a side where his kind of campaign was making impact. And he, along with Akhilesh, particularly what has happened in Uttar Pradesh, that has upset, tremendously. And now you're getting to hear things which you never heard before. BJP leaders openly talking about what went wrong, what could have gone wrong, and the usual cribbing has started. It has started in Uttar Pradesh, it has started in Tamil Nadu, it's getting louder in Maharashtra. And and of course, people in Rajasthan are talking about it, state where BJP has lost seats. And also, some of the core supporters, a large number of core supporters, who are very, very upset how this could happen. And why did the leadership, and people are looking at Home Minister Amit Shah, people are looking at others who are managing the show, but with so much of command and control happening in BJP, how could they have gone wrong with selection of candidates? How could they have gone wrong with issues which did not click? Or how could they have gone wrong in not assessing the damage caused by the opposition propaganda that the constitution was going to be changed and Dalits were about to lose their reservation benefits? People are asking, when Amit Shah is credited with knowing even agar patta bhi hil jaye to pata chal jayega, even if a leaf were to fall, the system is so sensitive it could spot. In that case, how could the Prime Minister, Modi himself, could have just a margin of 1.5 lakhs in Varanasi? That has shocked the hell out of many people in Uttar Pradesh. And many people even outside Uttar Pradesh as to how could this happen? When Amit Shah managed a 7.5 lakh margin in Gandhinagar, Shivraj Singh Chauhan got a handsome 8 lakh margin. How could this happen? And so many other BJP MPs won because of PM's campaign, and in his own constituency things went down, which means that in Varanasi too, Dalits were taken by that campaign that the constitution was being amended to do away with quota. So very serious, sir. And there are a lot more reasons people are saying that how, and many people feel that probably the central leadership should have listened to UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath much more, because he was not happy with the repetition of many sitting BJP MPs who, according to him, according to his own surveys, they were not doing well at all. They were not popular at all. So he had recommended they be changed. And as usual, we have seen it in Karnataka, sir. We are seeing it in Uttar Pradesh. Local voices were not heard enough. And all the time it was felt, whatever inputs that was coming to the BJP central command, and that was got precedence over what was coming from local. And of course, people are still unable to get over the fact that the BJP could not win the Faizabad Lok Sabha seat. And Ayodhya is located in Faizabad. Many people have thought that BJP lost in Ayodhya. No, it did not, because Ayodhya is an assembly segment. In assembly segment, they have won. But Faizabad Lok Sabha seat under which Ayodhya comes, that they have lost. How come, they have lost this one? People are asking, and they say that it was a huge monumental blunder to repeat Lallu Singh, who was the sitting MP. He had already done 2 terms, and he was the one who had talked about this 400 par hame chahiye to change constitution, that we need that 400 plus because we need to change constitution. And initially we thought it was Anand Kumar Hegde, a Karnataka leader, who made that kind of statement, but I get to hear that lot more leaders said it in Uttar Pradesh. Though, they didn't realize that 400 par was needed for what? Of course, I have heard people like Prashant Kishore, who were psephologists once and who used to do political consulting. And, he has been giving interviews saying that slogan itself, 400 par, that had left a lot of things hanging. That 400 par for what should have been a fuller sentence explaining the fuller concept. It did not. So 400 par for whom? And he even mentioned that in previous campaigns, in 2014 and 2019, the mandate was asked for a specific purpose. भारत को बदलने के लिए, corruption को दूर करने के लिए, या जो corrupt है उनको हटाने के लिए. There was some specific thing in the campaign, but that was not so in 2019, because 2019 it was made out as if that 400 par was something for Modi, not something for the people. One can agree, one can disagree with that formulation that Prashant Kishore was offering. But the fact remains, a lot of things have gone wrong. And if a lot of things have gone wrong, why have they gone wrong? Now, I am mentioning all this because when you look at the challenges now, because the question is again about what type of team will the Prime Minister be able to constitute in 24 hours from now. Whom would you have to take? Whom would you have to drop? And this time, the social aspect of a government formation is much bigger than actually the other factors that go into in selecting a team. Of course, every time when a cabinet or a union council of ministers is constituted, these factors play a big role. There's no doubt about it, no matter which government. It should have a broader representation. It should have a lot of members who belong to the weaker sections, from the Dalit community, tribal community, a good sprinkling of women representation. That's very important. These are standard set formulas that decide how the government is, how it looks when it is formed. But this time there's much more. You have got the portfolios issue also, because earlier it was purely the Prime Minister's prerogative to allot the portfolios as per his assessment as to who is good at undertaking the mission, who is good at handling the ministry, who will be in a position to deliver result. But this time, sir, the fact that Chandrababu Naidu and Nitish Kumar, and of course there are allies with just 1 or 2 seats, but who may have to be compensated or have to be kept happy with some important portfolios. So what will be the impact of that exercise? Now, I am told Nitish Kumar, is looking for 2 cabinet berths to start with. And similarly, Chandrababu Naidu is also looking at 2 cabinet berths and maybe 2 or 3, at best 2 ministers of state. Similarly, probably Nitish wants to, take a little more time to see that that he is also able to do a bit of a social engineering kind of thing when it comes to selecting his team. But two or three things seem to be clear, that the BJP is in no mood to part with the chairmanship of the Lok Sabha, that is the speakership of the Lok Sabha, because that's a very, very key post. When you are running a coalition government, it's important that your person sits on the chair, because there's a question of, if somebody decides to defect, now you know the way to defect is you resign your seat and switch over, or you cause a split in the party. But the ninth schedule makes it clear, the anti-defection law says if you have to defect, then you have to have more than 2/3 of your party people, MLAs or members of parliament, shifting to or merging with something else. Something with another party. So the rules are very clear, but then despite those anti-defection law, we saw changes happening in Maharashtra, earlier in Karnataka, in other states. So a lot of attention is being given to who will occupy the speaker's chair, and some names are being mentioned, names like excellent parliamentarian Bhaturi Mahtab from Odisha. He represents Cuttack constituency, and he has been a very active parliamentarian, participating in several committees. He was in Biju Janata Dal and he had fallen out with Naveen Patnaik, so he had joined BJP and contested on a BJP ticket from Cuttack. Now, he is named, I think, doing the rounds, and look at, he's young and well versed with the parliamentary practices. That's very important thing, which Prime Minister is no mood to make any concession on that post. And for the second post, there is a post of Deputy Speaker. Probably that will be offered to TDP, because already in the Rajya Sabha, the chairman is the vice president. He's ex officio chairman of the Rajya Sabha. That is, you have the vice president is already there. Now, the deputy chairman is Harivansh, who belongs to Janata Dal United. Janata Dal United is, that is JDU, Nitish Kumar's party, already has the deputy chairman's post in Rajya Sabha. Now, question is, there are ministries like agriculture, where these parties believe that they should have it, particularly whether it is Janata Dal United or Chirag Paswan's party, he has got 6 MPs, or Janata Dal Secular, you have got Kumaraswamy, elected to the Lok Sabha. He is being named as one of the person who would take oath office. And they are also interested in agriculture, rural development, and the assortment of portfolios that gives them that kind of a rural profile to their people who are holding ministryship. Now, the key ministries, when it comes to what is considered the ministries that constitute the Cabinet Committee on Security. So those are the ministries like Finance, Defense, External Affairs, and Home. There is, from all available indications, sir, I can assert and say that there are not going to be any changes. They will be with the BJP. So one should not be surprised if Rajnath Singh or Amit Shah, Nirmala Sitharaman and Jaishankar, they return to their old jobs, because Prime Minister would prefer continuity in all these areas because of external challenges, internal challenges. Also, the fact that Nirmala Sitharaman has steered the country through a lot of ups and downs through the COVID period. And then now, when the things are settling down, things are moving forward, Prime Minister would prefer continuity in terms of leadership of the ministry, and particularly the finance ministry, and a lot of attention in finance ministry, because the budget, you will have the new parliament will open, members will take oath, and soon there will be a budget. It will open with with a new budget, because what was presented was an interim budget. So all that could happen by end of this month or next month, July. So there is not much time for having some new person as a finance minister, and then that person gets down to work. That's not going to happen. This is what I understand. And external affairs, very simple. Jaishankar is a trusted hand of the Prime Minister. And in fact, soon after the swearing-in ceremony, Prime Minister is going to attend the G7 summit. So you can understand that in terms of foreign policy objectives, in terms of strategic objectives, that is not going to be changed, because that's a continuity one is going to see. Now it's other ministries. Who is going to get railways? Who is going to get transport? Who is going to get civil aviation? And who is going to get industry and commerce? Now these are ministries where I'm told TDP is also interested. Similarly, JDU. Now, one ministry which TDP has handled before during Vajpayee's era also, and which could come to them, is civil aviation. Civil aviation was a ministry that was handled earlier by TDP. And I'm told Chandrababu is also looking at ministries like water resources, because he is very keen about Pallavaram projects, which has got stuck down. So he wants to revive Pallavaram project, and also ministries where which ministries like, say, he wants to develop, from his scheme of things, he wants to develop a lot of ports along the coast, Andhra coast, for giving a boost to fisheries, for prawn industry, pisciculture. He has a lot of plans where to boost agriculture in a very broad sense. So those are also ministries where he would like to have his own people. And JDU, since Nitish Kumar was himself a railway minister, I'm told that they would like to have railway ministry. But rail is a very important part of the infrastructure, I would say, infrastructure priorities of Prime Minister. So how they are going to do that adjustment, I do not know. So this is also an important ministry. So, but the big question is, when after all thing is distributed, and how will this team function? And already Prime Minister indicated, when he in his acceptance speech after he was elected as leader of the NDA parliamentary party, the Prime Minister made it clear, even to start with, he said, look, do not believe in rumors and whispers that if somebody calls up and says that you are in the team, you're going to become a minister, don't believe anything, because you know that in my scheme of things, I don't leak matters till the whole thing is finalized. And do not get it, because there will be a lot of middlemen hanging around who will say, no, आपको मंत्री बना देंगे, ये कर देंगे, PMO से call आ गया, ये आ गया. Don't believe in all that kind of thing. If you are chosen, he was referring to the members, each member telling them that if you are going to be made minister, you will get a call. Don't believe all these people. And he also warned them, look, this is an era where videos are used, even fake videos are used. AI will be used to say that somebody is calling from PM and asking you to, कल आप आ जाइए, आपका शपथ, आप शपथ लेंगे. So Modi decided to warn, and I expect tomorrow all those who have been chosen are expected to be called to Prime Minister's residence before the swearing in, and they will be told, rather they will be given some do's and don'ts. Be careful whom you have as your personal assistant, and maintain probity. Be absolutely careful. Beware of these power brokers hanging around in the corridors of power. Sir, one of the big achievements of Prime Minister has been that a lot of this power lobbyists, and India, power lobbying is not a legitimate activity, unlike in the US. Here it is not legitimate activity, but it flourishes in some form or the other. But in this period, in the last 10 years, the middlemen, the so-called middlemen and people who try to fix things, their business has not been doing well, because Prime Minister has ensured that ministries do not encourage such people, and there are no leaks. Documents don't move out from the ministries. Earlier, what used to happen was, even as a policy was formulated, documents would vanish from the ministry and reach those powerful lobbyists or powerful industrial groups, who would in turn employ their lobbyists to work on the government, to tweak the policy. That at some extent has been curbed. I would say to a good extent has been curbed by the Prime Minister. So one can expect the Prime Minister to give them some do's and don'ts, tell them don't do this, don't do that. And one thing is clear, sir. Chandrababu Naidu or Nitish Kumar, because I'm coming to that question, can JDU and TDP actually dump BJP and move to the other side? And we are being told now by 𝗖𝗍𝘅 𝗍𝙗 that Nitish was actually offered the post of Prime Minister. But can they really go for the bait. But my answer is they cannot, because the numbers are such. Because with the lack of numbers, without a viable alternative, nobody is going to join in this hunt for numbers. Certainly TDP, JDU would not want to dump Modi and go for a number game, which the Congress is not sure that where the numbers will come. Even if they join, they need another 15 more, for including that cushion. So where is that numbers coming? If that being the case, there is a very limited option in their hands, which is they have to stay here. Yes, they can only say, look, we need a better deal, and they may get a better deal. But at the same time, they can't rock the boat beyond a point. Because once the ship is in midstream, or if the boat is in the midstream, and if they rock it too much, they too will fall in, because there isn't another boat nearby to come to their rescue. Unless things really go wrong and there is some problem, Prime Minister is not able to manage coalition. I don't see that situation either, because no matter how the Prime Minister has run his government in the last 2 terms with a huge mandate, no need to look beyond shoulders or ask anyone as to what policies to bring, as to what areas to be dealt with, how to go approach. Prime Minister has never taken advice from anyone. But this time he is in a situation where there has to be a greater consultation among his cabinet colleagues. There has to be a greater consultation with leaders like Chandrababu Naidu and Nitish Kumar. But one positive aspect is both the leaders are pro-reformists. Chandrababu Naidu believes in reforms. And so and he made it very clear also in his speech where, during that function in Central Hall of Parliament when Modi was elected as NDA leader, parliamentary party leader, he said, this is the time we need a leader like Modi. It is time that has brought forth the leadership of Modi. And India is actually lucky to have somebody like Modi at this moment. He was fulsome praise for Modi for what he has achieved in the last 10 years and expressing full confidence. Similarly, Sir Nitish is also in a avatar when we have seen him as Susasan Babu, a person committed to good governance. And he was also very forthcoming. He says, look, you are going to do very well and we are with you. And we're going to see that the next election, the people who surprised us with their performance this time, saying that Congress, and of course he means RJD also, they might have struck gold now, though not enough gold, but enough to make them feel, give that good feeling. But that is not permanent. So I can see that at least now, for a couple of years, Modi is not going to have problems from Chandrababu Naidu and Nitish Kumar, who are considered to be the most troublesome, because they would be losers. And Chandrababu has a big challenge on hand in Andhra Pradesh. He has huge numbers. He has to deliver on the ground. And first thing he has to reverse is to reverse all the policies of Jagan relating to the capital, Amaravati. And Amaravati is in a very bad shape. It needs a kind of push that Chandrababu has in mind, and not that only about Amaravati, because Amaravati became a prestige battle between Jagan and Chandrababu. Now I think he will concentrate on Andhra Pradesh, try to get more funds from the center, so that Andhra is put back on a track which Chandrababu feels should have been there right from beginning. And Chandrababu's thing is, he has to again reinvent himself, like the way he created Hyderabad, Cyberabad, and the story of what was then considered, the greater Andhra Pradesh, which included Telangana and Andhra, and the lot of changes that happened under his stewardship. This is something he has to do for Andhra Pradesh now. The present Andhra Pradesh consisting of the Seema Andhra and Rayalaseema. So he has his own problem. Similarly, Nitish would be looking for funds But I have, funds, and the whole issue has been, rather the irksome issue is declaring these two states as special category states. Now, can this happen? Now, I have from the horse's mouth, I must say, that Modi government cannot declare any state as a special category state, because after the 14th Finance Commission's recommendation, you cannot give that kind of categorization. Well, but Modi government has enough room to ensure that Bihar gets a lot more funds on par with what it could have got as a special categorization state or categorized state, SCS. Similarly, Andhra Pradesh, because after all, Chandrababu Naidu broke relations with BJP on this very issue. Now, there may not be an open declaration of these being special category states, because that provision is not possible, but definitely handsome packages will be announced for both these states. And it is up to Chandrababu Naidu to ensure the money is well spent, without corruption, without leakages. Similarly, Nitish Babu, who is not known to be personally, he is beyond personal corruption, and that can ensure that that money is put to good use in Bihar. Bihar does need funds because it has been suffering in revenue right from the time of the bifurcation, when Jharkhand was made into a separate state and all the industries, all the mining areas went with Jharkhand. So this is the kind of picture we are getting right now, sir.
Thank you so much, Shekhar ji. I had one simple question. Have you heard of the Tamil word bigu? Bigu? Have you heard of the word bigu? Bigu?
No, sir.
Okay. It's also in Telugu. I know that for sure. What bigu is like, I might say yes, but you have to ask me nicely. This is a typical trait.
That's a bigu. Yes. I got it. I got it. Yeah.
So,
bigu
exactly. So there is a very famous song in Telugu. With your permission, I'd like to say the first two lines. It's Pilachina bigu vatara. This is from Maleshwari. Beautiful song. Copy, I think. And that song encapsulates this feeling that, I might say yes, but I have to be asked nicely. Is that what is happening with Rahul Gandhi?
Sir, with Rahul Gandhi, the thing is very simple, sir. Meri marzi. I feel like I'll take it. If you don't feel like, I won't take it. And also,
it's the opposite of bigu then. It's the opposite of bigu.
You may fall at my feet and say you take it, but I will decide. Sir, other thing is, if he takes it, now look at, if he takes it, that means he will be saddled with the responsibility of attending the parliament session regularly. He will be saddled with facing Prime Minister in the session. He will be faced with the question of initiating several important debates. As soon as the session opens, Prime Minister will take the vote of confidence. Where from the opposition side, he will be the first speaker if his motion is taken up. If the Prime Minister moves, of course, in this case, the Prime Minister will move the vote of confidence motion, and from the opposition side, he has got to be the first speaker, or he has got to be the main speaker. That would require he has to sit down and listen to what the Prime Minister says, and then retort in a proper way. No shoot and scoot will do here this time. Is he willing to do that? And then he can't take breaks. I'm sure after such a grueling campaign, he's just waiting for all this oath taking and all that to get over, or maybe he may go soon after the government is sworn in and then take a break. Because being a leader of the opposition is like tying responsibility around his legs. I'm not sure whether he wants that. Because he would like to be left to his own style, where if necessary, he will undertake a Padayatra. If necessary, he will do intensive rallies and intensive ground campaign. But he doesn't want to get into this nuts and bolt job of being a leader of the opposition. So that is that is why the question is for him to decide. Of course, the first decision he has to take on Raebareli and Wayanad, but nobody expects surprises, because the most politically sensible thing would be to bid goodbye to Wayanad and then retain Raebareli, so as to keep the morale of the Congress workers on a high note, because that's very important. Though all those things will now be forgotten, that how he loves Wayanad more than Raebareli or Amethi, how people of South are better than the North, how the politics of South was great, but politics of North is because now that they have chosen him, he would like to be there. And being a leader of opposition also, sir, gives a signal that he is the shadow prime minister.
Yeah.
Because we have a Westminster model. Though we don't call the leader of the opposition as the shadow prime minister, or is there a shadow cabinet as in UK, but definitely the leader of opposition is seated. Of course, under the Congress scheme of things, you cannot say that. If the Kharge was leader of the opposition in Congress, he was the Congress leader in Lok Sabha, or he is now the Congress leader in Rajya Sabha. That doesn't mean Kharge is, or even if this time the Congress had won, had got more number of seats, and the Congress-led alliance, INDI alliance, was in a position to form the government, there would not have been automatic understanding that it is Kharge who would have become prime minister. When it comes to prime minister, we know who it is, reluctant or otherwise. So, but question is, because I think we need to ask this question: is Rahul Gandhi, as a leader of the opposition, going to pose a big problem for Modi? Will it be a big problem, or Prime Minister will find it easier if it is Rahul Gandhi who is the leader of the opposition? Which means he will have to get Rahul, because he can ensure Rahul comes into structured debates. So even as the charge against the government was, it was not listening to the opposition. It was not giving an opportunity for the opposition to have its say, so that the government can later have its way. But it is also a fact that opposition, under Rahul Gandhi was a big influence on people, on opposition MPs who were disrupting. And I have reasons to believe some of the disruptive ideas were given by Rahul Gandhi himself. Because Rahul Gandhi felt that we should not accept the mandate. Rahul Gandhi did not accept the mandate. Rahul Gandhi Congress did not accept the mandate of 2014. They did not accept the mandate of 2019. Now, my question is, are they going to accept this mandate? Because this is one mandate, sir. I have a very colloquial way of looking at it. Jiski jitni lambi pooch di, utni kati. Everybody's tail has been cut, in proportion to the length that people saw. They said, look, that's why it's a mandate. They have voted for the opposition, they voted for the government, and made it appear as everybody says now. Jo jeete, unko lagta hai wo haare, aur jo haare, unko lagta hai ki wo jeete. This is a very unique mandate. And I also often use the term, this is an autocorrect mandate, where the people decided to autocorrect a situation which they felt would have gone out of control if one side had got again and again a very huge mandate, and some balance was necessary. Probably people thought that's why they also voted for the opposition. But for an effective, lively parliament, you need that the leader of the opposition is as responsible as those sitting on the treasury benches. Will that happen? Or since they are not accepting the mandate, because Mamata has said it today, that we are not participating in the swearing-in ceremony of the Prime Minister, because we don't accept this mandate. We don't accept them forming the government. This could as well be the attitude of Rahul Gandhi also. In which case, are you going to see a very, very improved parliament performance? Are you going to see more interesting debates? Or we have to wait for the next elections to see all these people making that they keep reserving everything for the election rallies. So these are poses that one sees, but then that nothing has changed in the Congress. I mean, which I felt today. Congress working committee adopting resolutions, formal resolution. Why isn't Rahul Gandhi? Doesn't he feel himself responsible to take a call on such issues? Anyway, parties don't change. Circumstances sometimes forces them to change some tactics, but essential nature of political parties don't change. That's why, sir, this question is also coming. How much of concession one can expect from the Prime Minister towards the parties that are supporting his government and the opposition? How much will the Prime Minister, allow to be dictated by alliance partners? If you ask me, not a bit. There will be consultations and everything, but the prerogative of the Prime Minister and prerogative of the head of the government is going to remain, no matter it is coalition. And in another 3-4 months, you may think that Modi is in full steam like before. Because he is not going to let go this opportunity. He made it very clear in his acceptance speech that there will be a crackdown on corruption. The anti-corruption drive will continue with full gusto. That's one. And second thing is, all the plans that he has in mind, some of the big ticket changes that he wants, the first 100 days by way of big announcements as soon as he takes office, that is going to go on, because the plan for 𝗣𝗚𝘅 Bharat, the plan for a fully developed India by 2047, which would need year by year planning in terms of targets to be achieved, in terms of projects to be taken up, covering every sector, those are going to go full steam. Of course, the other story people are saying that as BJP gains time, their numbers will start increasing. More and more people will start joining the BJP, and smaller parties may be asked to join the BJP. And who knows, some of those who are in the India Alliance may have some rethinking. Sir, one thing happened which everybody is talking about. Soon after the result came and the first meeting, the day NDA meeting also happened, Chandrababu Naidu returned to Hyderabad. Similarly, DMK leader, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Stalin was also here. He also returned. But both of them met in the airport lounge, VIP lounge in Delhi airport. They were waiting for the flights, so they met there. And they exchanged even bouquets. I mean, they had enough time to get a bouquet for, to hand it over to each other. People are asking, what is the significance? Was it all just accidental meeting, or is it was arranged in such a way that both landed up at a time and they had enough time before they boarded their flights? As I said, they had enough time to get bouquets, because I'm not sure in Delhi airport bouquets are available inside. Of course, VIPs can always get bouquet from the nearest florist close to the airport, but that would not be anywhere near either Maipalpur or Vasant Vihar.
What you're saying is it's a planned thing. What you're saying is it's a planned thing.
Yes, and it's very much a planned thing. So what could be that plan? Will Chandrababu Naidu undertake the job of getting DMK over to this side? By way of, it would start with what is the term these days it's used, when you are making the first move towards your new partner or a prospective partner, you call it issue-based support to the government. And in turn, Tamil Nadu is not starved of funds that it wants to get from sector. I'm not looking at a political alliance. I'm looking at a friendly center is necessary. And also DMK drops all this anti-Modi business, go back Modi ministers and everything. That is one. The second thing is, people are speculating on the role that former Vice President 𝗼𝗂𝗍𝗍 Naidu may play. Because 𝗼𝗂𝗍𝗍 Naidu has a good equations both with DMK leadership as well as with Chandrababu Naidu. And 𝗼𝗂𝗍𝗍 Naidu has a lot of personal interests in Chennai also. He has a house in Chennai. His daughter operates from Chennai. A business is from Chennai. So there is a good possibility. There is a good possibility that the number thing, the current numbers with the NDA, they start rising. And issue-based support means tomorrow there is a legislation. If the government needs more support, that could be coming. I mean, this is an open question. And also, what is going to happen in Maharashtra? Maharashtra, sir, post-poll scenario looks like, people are saying that there is some attempt to get Uddhav to, the Uddhav Sena and the other Sena to again come together. Though from the Uddhav 𝗖𝙧𝙤 side and from his people close to him like Sanjay Raut have already said no, there is nothing. We are now, our next battle is the Maharashtra Assembly. Similarly, Sharad Pawar and Ajit Pawar, because this family fight did both of them no good, and Sharad Pawar managed to show that his nephew, that is Ajit Pawar, that he is cleverer than him and that he is a past master. He's a better fox than him and an older fox. So, and he managed to show on the ground that he commands that same core vote that he had earlier, and the split did make a difference. Now, that is one area what is going to happen. And Mamata, I do not know, sir, with all her, whatever she is, the fire she is spewing today, how long will it last, one doesn't know. Because she has much to be worried in the next 2 years. Assembly elections happen in Bengal along with in Tamil Nadu and Kerala in 2026. And Maharashtra Assembly elections are also coming. So that's going to be a big test for BJP. Devendra Fadnavis resigned, accepting moral responsibility for the poor showing of BJP and as well as the alliance. Now, 𝗒𝙧𝙤𝘆 𝗢𝘂𝘁, the Chief Minister, who is in office with the support of BJP, he said, no, this is collective thing. You can't just go away like that. Then he had gone to Nagpur, where similar advice was supposed to have been given by some Sangh leaders also. I mean, at this time, till at least elections, because he wanted to resign as Deputy CM and says, I want to go back to active political work on the ground, to the field, down to the constituency. But he has been told to hold his horses. Similarly, Devendra Fadnavis met Home Minister Amit Shah also. The signal is no need to give up, no need to resign now, because anyway elections are coming and the party has to get prepared for election. So the elections in Maharashtra are going to be the real problem, sir. And the Maratha quota issue is back, because the activist who was on hunger strike has again started his hunger strike again. So there are several things which goes to show that it's not going to be a cozy period. And there are no honeymoon in this third term, sir, for Modi. No honeymoon period. Every issue will, I expect the Congress, a resurgent Congress and the opposition to make it a big problem. Sir.
Thank you so much, sir. We have spent a lot of time talking about it. Let's take lots of questions, Shekharji. I hope you can rifle through them fast. 19 questions as of now, but if you go through and look at it, it might be 25. Let's take it questions right away, please. RK, thank you so much for becoming a YouTube member. Thank you, Narayanan. Thank you, 𝗼𝗚𝗍. Thank you, Ramya Lokesh, for your super sticker. Thank you, Nihar Ranjan Patnaik. Thank you, Arjun Sharma. I will take a look at it. Thank you. Next one. Magnet Ranga wants to know, Namaskar, do you also feel that BJP is lacking on good spokespersons except a few, and that they should be the ones setting a narrative instead of always responding to one?
Well, of late that has been happening. I mean, we saw it in the mid-course of the campaign also. Well, they have very good people in the party who can articulate the party's position. Now, invariably, those who can articulate well, they will become ministers. So, and party has to bring new faces to represent. Of course, this time it will require a lot more explanation as to how the BJP being a major party in the government, how is he going to manage issues. So I think there will be some changes in terms of, because they're going to have a new BJP president. JP Nadda will resign also, sir.
Is that confirmed?
No, because his term is over, sir. He's on an extension. So they will go for fresh elections, inner party elections. His term is ending in June.
Next one, please. Because the body language looked like Modi was ignoring Nadda when that meeting was going on with all the other NDA members. If you look at closely, anyway, that's just how I saw it.
In fact, it is Nadda who spoke at first at the meeting.
I know, but resulting after that. Sir, let's go to the next question. Rohit Akshay wants to know, Hare Krishna, Sree Iyer ji, please arrange a fans meet with Shekhar Iyer ji and Rajagopalan ji someday. Is the speculation of UBT unit of Shiv Sena joining NDA true? If yes, what happens to Shinde Sena? I think we addressed that, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. I do not think that is going to happen immediately. I don't see that happening because Uddhav feels that he has proved his point. And so does Eknath Shinde.
It's a draw between the two of them, yeah, more or less.
Yeah, because they feel that they have, they each had scored.
So I think it's Ajit Pawar that has lost out in this whole thing.
Yeah, because he may be having a lot of rethinking. His people may be, and also, sir, this is a good opportunity for them to take up hard positions, even within this alliance, so that they get more number of seats to contest in the Maharashtra Assembly.
Correct. We have to wait and see how it plays out. Narayana wants to know, Mohan Bhagawatji and others go to Govardhan Mutt for the blessings of Swami Nischalananda Saraswati Maharaj, Shankaracharya of Puri, and at the same time BJP supports a fake Shankaracharya. Why?
No, sir. RSS leaders like Mohan Bhagawatji, they visit temples, they go to different places, not just to one particular. Mohan Bhagawatji, I know personally, is a person. He's also deeply religious. And he believes in because he's always on tour. So wherever he gets an opportunity, he calls on the religious heads, mud heads. And there is no particular reason that any particular Shankaracharya is being favored or anything like that.
Ramya Lokesh wants to know, sir, one election, one nation is still a possibility in this term?
Well, Ramya, this is one issue. I think, these are issues like of course, Janata Dal United has already said they support one nation, one poll. But this will require this time because it needs a lot of amendments and there are issues to be sorted out. Issues like what happens if the House cannot find, one government loses confidence and it falls. So, and then another one cannot come. So should they go for fresh elections if only a year had passed since the last election? So you need to bring in some constitutional amendments to ensure that the Legislative Assembly or the Lok Sabha, it has a fixed tenure, and within that fixed tenure, even one government falls, they have to elect another leader. They have to elect another prime minister. These are some proposals of consideration. And also there are big issues like delimitation exercise to be started, census to be started. There are several issues where the Prime Minister will have to take the initiative to see that some consensus is brought. Sir.
Next question from Venkatraman Iyer. In your opinion, do you think BJP needs to overhaul its IT and media department and also bring in Smriti Irani as its national spokesperson? They need to be aggressive for sure.
Sir, more than overhauling its IT and media department, they need to look at the way these elections were fought and fill those gaps. If you are having an MB for more than 2 terms, unless they are exceptionally good and exceptionally popular, there's no reason for them to give him a 3rd term or a 4th term. Those are things that should be avoided. And this time in Uttar Pradesh, as I said, Yogi Adityanath wanted a number of MPs not to be repeated, but his advice was not taken seriously, and we continue to hear stories about how that Amit Shah and Yogi have different perceptions about the conduct of elections, manage elections, and sometimes there is no common view, and that results in a lot of confusion and lack of synergy. Sir.
Next one, please. Thank you, NN, so much. Why efforts to get black money back have stopped? Something to be aggressively pursued in Modi 3.0?
Yes, that will be pursued, sir. I mean, that effort will continue because Prime Minister is repeatedly saying whatever funds that vanished from India will have to be brought back, and those who walked away with it will have to pay back. Sir.
Next one, please. And then thank you so much once again. How can Modi 3.0 increase revenue to fund popular measures like income tax rebates, reduce petrol prices? Will disinvestment ever be considered a success option?
Well, disinvestment per se may not be an option, but you saw in this term they disinvested Air, rather they sold away Air India. That was a major decision that was taken. Now, question is, the scope for fresh taxation or more taxation is absolutely negligible. Rather, what we can expect is government is very happy, and that the tax compliance is improved tremendously. It has improved. Whether it's a fear of law enforcement or the fear of income tax scrutiny, or but definitely there is a lot of tax complaints that has resulted in direct tax revenue going up. And that is because that is what has given Prime Minister Modi the cushion to undertake several welfare programs. The reason is the tax payments have been high, tax returns have been more and more people are paying taxes. Of course, the other complaint is that particular section of the society is always will constantly pays, but it is neglected when it comes to their issues. I mean, this is what a genuine concern felt by many taxpayers. But definitely, I see that the budget that will come this time, it will be one that will not just be provide for a good feel factor. Rather, it will look at issues where some innovative thinking will be applied, including taxation. Sir.
Next one, please. Lucifer, thank you so much. Modi abandoned in Bengal. BJP was shooting from shoulder of 𝗓𝐶I, I don't know what that is, and did nothing on 𝗓𝐶C, NRC, I think Supreme Court of India. Places of worship, work, land, agriculture, judicial, police, education. Modi should stop working for Nobel Peace Prize by appeasement of Muslims.
Well, there is always this a view that some of the core issues were not given attention. 𝗓𝐶C work started, it has been on for the last couple of years. And here also, I think, since it's a coalition government, they cannot be very aggressive on issue like 𝗓𝐶C because these two parties, have minorities among their support base. So 𝗓𝐶C are areas where government may not be on full steam or full speed. So that has to be taken into account as to whether it will speed up. Sir.
Next one, please. Thank you, Soham. Sir, can't BJP merge 32 MPs by any means?
Well, at the moment, I do not see immediately BJP getting into this game, though everybody is making prediction that it will again start all kinds of things, and a number of opposition MPs may switch to BJP side. But I don't see anything being done right away with the consent of the top leadership of the BJP so as to create an impression that BJP wants to rule by hook or by crook. That's not an image that the Prime Minister would want to go at this moment.
Thank you, Soham. Shouldn't Modi have gone by Teesri Baar Lagatar Modi Sarkar instead of 400 Par? Advocate 𝗥𝐵𝗎𝐻 Upadhyay seemed to be the culprit behind this slogan. I didn't know that.
No, because many people say that slogan, 400 Par, was a trigger because it was an incomplete slogan. Well, without this also Prime Minister could have got a better return. This view is there. Sir.
Next one, please. Shankar VK wants to know, Shekharji, would it make sense to create a social justice ministry to exclusively cater to Dalit priorities?
No, we already have a Minister of Welfare. Welfare Ministry is there. Well, you can rename it as Social Justice Ministry, and because Social Justice Ministry will take care of all the problems and issues of everybody. So,
next one, please. Gopalakrishnan wants to know, Shekhar Iyer, what will happen to those hype created on reclaiming POK, etc.?
Well, reclaiming POK is a very stated objective of the BJP. Many people are saying there could be one fine morning, some dramatic operation or a movement or something, and you could see that POK it becomes part of India's map. Even now, it is shown as it's shown in our map as part of us, but then it could be truly belong to India. It's possible, but at the moment, I think the Prime Minister's priority is economy. Prime Minister's priority is giving us setting up a stable base for this government, because any operations in POK could upset our priorities. So I don't think that will happen immediately.
Next one, please. Thank you, Soham. Can an LoP be jailed for scams without drama?
Well, one thing is sure, sir. The cases that are currently on, the investigations that are on, and some more fresh cases also, one does not rule out. But Prime Minister will give a message, even at the cost of appearing to be, affecting his coalition stability, that there will be zero tolerance for corruption. Because BJP has to get that full image of a party that is fighting corruption. So I expect more action to follow, not lesser action.
Thank you, Soham, again. Sir, why don't we have daily press briefing like in White House, USA? I've been asking for 5-10 years on this one. Next one, please. Thank you, Srikanth Kavuru, for your super sticker. Next one, please. Manoj Soma, thank you so much. Assume CBN dent INDI alliance, RaGa crying. I think dent or did not take up or something like that. Next one, please. Soham, thank you again. Sir, we all live in a USA-influenced world. Why can't we just change our Westminster structure to USA types? It is clearly a successful model in the world. That requires changing the constitution. That's what you scared the people.
No, sir, but the diversity, that this country has in terms of language, region, parliamentary system is better suited. This is my opinion.
I completely agree with you, sir. I've never really said that presidential form will work, except that opposition should also feel patriotic. There are some things where they take stands that are absolutely not tenable. For example, Balakot strike, proof dikhao. How can you show proof? All you can see for the whole world. They've said that they've got we've got conversations on YouTube where the guys are screaming, everybody is dead. They're not enough stretchers. So that's where I have a small problem. Next one, please. And also they can start wearing vibhuti. Let Mr. Rahul Gandhi start wearing vibhuti. Let's see what happens to this Wayanad vote base. Thank you, Hari Srinivasan. RK wants to know, would Modi take care of Annamalai and Madhavi Latha? They worked very hard.
So definitely the role played by both Annamalai and Madhavi Latha. Madhavi Latha particularly, she fought I would say a battle which everybody thought was very difficult battle, because victory was never a possibility given the nature of the constituency, that is Hyderabad. But she fought well, and she did give perspiring moments for OVC.
He was forced to do door-to-door campaigning. Evidently, he had never done that before.
So, of course, Annamalai also has worked hard. So, we'll wait and see tomorrow what is the representation from Tamil Nadu in the government.
And last question, please. Ustad Pituddin Khan Chanchar, thank you so much. Sir, do you think Congress starts as favorite for the upcoming Haryana Assembly elections? And will it be a fresh national security issue if they win, given the Delhi and Punjab situations?
Well, Haryana is on a positive note for the Congress because the kind of performance they have done in the Lok Sabha elections. But then they have to make some good strategies because the leadership to project, and they cannot do away with Bhupendra Hooda, because Hooda is all over Haryana. I mean, which case again the Congress will be depending on. Sir, Haryana politics these days has veered around to Jat, versus non-Jats. So parties have been, positioning themselves on this equation. And BJP has been concentrating on the non-Jat voters. So we'll have to see that concentrating but not ignoring Jat voters, but definitely concentrating more on non-Jat voters. Sir.
I think it is Jet voters, right? My Jet Yamla Pagla Divana. I think it is Jet. I don't know. I'm not a Jet. So
Jat. They say
Jat,
Haryana.
correct? Okay. Okay. Sir, thank you so much, sir. We've had a very interactive session today. It ran a little longer than expected. Yesterday's session was 1 hour, 41 minutes. So with Sumit Peer, again, UP, what went, and so on and so forth. So these are all par for the course. People have really poured out their frustrations. I welcome that. This is a process of catharsis. Okay, I've said it. I asked questions. Somebody answered it. Somebody didn't answer it. The point I think here moving forward is I have a small disagreement with Shekhar Iyer about jobs. Jobs requires a much more deeper insights into how India should structure itself as a country, so that jobs will get created. The government cannot create the jobs. The jobs have to be created. That means it's a slightly different thing, a little bit more complicated than what I think the PMO believes that it can do. The bureaucrats, sir, again, no offense intended, they believe in incremental reforms. And I think that will not do. Even the 1991 reforms came not because Mr. Narasimha Rao wanted to do it. It was because the IMF said that you have to do these things. You have to open up the ministries. Yeah, that license Raj has to go. And he died. His execution was superb, because it was done in a very, very by the way kind of a thing. But that was the biggest thing that happened. The Industries Minister, Mr. Kurian, made that announcement. And it was like lost in the footnotes until people started realizing that, oh my goodness, all the license controls, all that stuff is gone now. So that is a sleight of hand of Narasimha Rao. Also, he also gave the works plan. He also made some other mistakes, Places of Worship Acts. So it's always a mixed bag. Considering all the other prime ministers, look at what Modi has done. I don't think he should be held accountable for this loss. My personal opinion, I'm one of the more critical viewers. See, because I've written a lot of stories. Many of you are just watching my videos. Go back and read in P-Gurus what are all the things we have written. Wake up and smell coffee, that I've written as 2-3 times. I've told Modi that this is not on. Back from 2015-16. Because anyway, long story short, I think he has done his bit. I think the party has to pull around. Sir, if you would like to conclude, and then we can call this program.
Definitely, sir. This is going to be completely a different Modi. And I'm sure he will use this opportunity to disprove a lot of us. I mean, disprove a lot of speculation as to how he'll be able to steer this coalition. This is a new challenge for him. But being a politician, we know Modi, and he's also highly adaptable. And he's a willing learner, a person who learns from his mistakes. So therefore, I think there is a possibility that perhaps this third term could be his most successful term compared to the previous 2 terms. Success in terms of doing things that have to be done, just as Narasimha Rao did the reforms, purely because there was no other go for India to come out of that kind of stagnation that it had seen. So similarly, I expect Modi to carry out the task that he had set forth, with probably with more diplomacy, with more consensus building activity, but the goal will be reached. That is what I feel is the objective of Prime Minister this time.
Thank you, sir. And tomorrow, viewers, we are coming back. Take a small break, have a brisk sleep, come back 9 a.m. tomorrow. See, we are also turning the leaf. From tomorrow, it's like new ministry, new horizon, new vision, new goals and things like that. 9 o'clock tomorrow with Sumit Peer in Hindi, and 10:30 with JVC Sriram on Modi managing coalitions. What has his track record been? We're going to take a really deep insights into that. And so please do come back and listen to us on that. Thank you so much, Shekhar ji. Namaskar.
Namaskar. Thank you.